Hi, this is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. So today, I am going to name this episode The Construction Worker. So we'll be right back after this message. Hi, my name is Dave with The Last Podcast. Have you ever heard of Impact Health Sharing? Impact Health Sharing is an affordable alternative to traditional health insurance. Impact is a caring community of people who share in each other's medical bills, and is for anyone interested in sharing, acting responsibly together, and saving on health care. For more information, click on the link in the show notes that reads Impact Health Sharing. This is David with The Last Podcast. We'll see you soon. Like I said a few minutes ago, I named this episode The Construction Worker. And why? Why would I even name this The Construction Worker? Because I believe in the man or woman who is building something or who believes in building something. They also become a part of a team, that works in conjunction with one another for a common goal or end result. When a construction company prepares to build a high rise or even a building that's not a high rise, there's a great deal of planning that goes into the foundation, because before they even think about the building, they have to prepare the foundation, whatever that entails. So they have to make sure that the foundation is the building that they're building on. That foundation is a strong foundation for which to build upon. And we must first start with that bedrock, that foundation. As humans, we must build ourselves up. And sometimes we need to tear down to rebuild. You ever see one of those old tenement buildings? They were built, but sometimes they have to tear those down to rebuild new structures. So in essence, why I say the construction worker, because we all are construction workers in theory. And when it comes to building our lives, we are builders of our own destiny. And I believe that. So we make sure that we build a foundation that will withstand a heavy load over time and stress that it will face over time, whether that might be weather related or shifting structure or earthquake or fire. We have to prepare as humans the storms of life that hit us, the pain, the hurt, the joy, the anger, all of it, all the emotions. I mean, living life is sometimes people go through, like myself, go through a sea of emotions and hurt and joy and happiness and sadness and so on and so forth. But when we build, we talk about the construction worker, we talking about building something solid for ourselves, a life that's sustainable, that we can grow with, that we can reap the rewards of working hard as a construction worker in our own lives. So as a construction worker, we want to erect a life that we choose and value. We must start with our foundation so that we have the fortitude to withstand what life may throw at us in the future. So depending on how high we go or how high on the ladder we might climb, what we choose to do with our life depends on our perspective, our life, and how we view ourselves in the grand scheme of the world we live in. So just like when you're starting to build a new building, who are around you, or who's the structure that you might be building? For instance, they look at what is around the area that they're building. They may have to dig or excavate the land in order to build a high rise, whether it's something that they have to dig deep in the ground fortify it, how high the building might go, we might have to dig deep in ourselves to look at what might be holding us back so we can move forward, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So we might have an opportunity to see the different phases of our life, which is the different phases of a construction project. So, I know some people might be in an area where they see something new coming that's going to, like, let's say a new mall that's being built. They have those big posters out there, what the mall and what that area and outside of the mall would look like. And people who work near these areas, they get a chance to see the different phases from the ground up when they first start breaking ground to create whatever it is that they're building. And once it's all done, you get an opportunity to say, wow, that looks spectacular. And, the same thing with our life. We are going through a metamorphosis. We're going through a transformation as we're building a new life for ourselves. And that is whatever it is that you want to build for yourself. I once heard Jim Rohn say, if you don't like your life, change it. You're not a tree. You can take any part. You can start at this moment. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. You can start right now, or you can start tomorrow and say, you know what? I'm going to start a new thing in myself. So I think in order to start to build something for yourself, you have to start within. You have to start in that foundation. That means strip away what might be holding you back. First, you have to find out. You have to investigate. You have to start asking yourself some serious questions. And I had a podcast earlier that it basically tells you how to start over, or what things you might want to look at when you start over. And building something for ourselves, something worth having, our spectacular for ourselves, it's going to take time. And I think we live in a society where we got to have it right now. And a lot of people, they don't look at the time that it takes to build something sustainable, and so that you can build that spectacular for yourself, build that exciting life for yourself. It just doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes planning. It takes dedication. It takes you being fortified with an idea to move forward. You have to be dedicated. And the time, you have to put in that time where it allows you to move forward, where it allows you to grow. And so what? Things don't work out. That's part of life. That means that, okay, that didn't work. So now you have to move forward. You know what not to do. Now you just have to keep on working on whatever it is so you can achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve. So it doesn't matter if something doesn't work for you right now. That's just another way of how not to do it. So I'm going to end this out with, this is just pretty much food for thought. Ask yourself some questions before you do. Recognize out loud this indisputable fact. I am responsible for me. And say that to yourself out loud. I am responsible for me. I'm responsible for my own actions. I am the pilot of my destination in my life. I choose where to go from this point on. And then work on that new beginning for yourself. So, other questions you might want to say to yourself or ask yourself, what is holding me back from living a life on my terms? Living the life that I want to live. Ask yourself that. What's holding me back? What do I fear is the second question. What do I fear? And you have to answer these questions truthfully for yourself. You can't fool yourself. So you might as well be critical in answering these questions so you can really dig deep to find out what's going on why you're not achieving the goals that you're setting out, or why you're not living the life you want to live. The third question I have for you: what have I tried and failed at? Or did I simply fall short? So many of us try things, and even myself, where we may have tried several different things and only to fall short. It wasn't a failure. We just stopped. You're going to ask yourself these questions, but I want you to now to write down these questions and ask yourself. Asking yourself thoughtful questions, I believe, I would probably say discovery questions that can help you gain insight and make a positive change in your life. So I have maybe about 5 questions that you should also ask yourself. The first question I would say is, what are my long-term goals and aspirations? So what is it that you want to do in life? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 5 years, so on and so forth? The second question is, what truly makes me happy and fulfilled? Now, I got to say that again. What truly makes me happy and fulfilled? Because you cannot have a happy life if you don't even know what makes you happy. That's something that you definitely need to ask yourself and work on. The third question: what am I most passionate about? If you're passionate about something, maybe that might be the thing that you want to focus on and build upon. You could keep your job. I'm not saying you would have to leave the job that you currently work in or the career that you have, but whatever it is that you're passionate about, see if you could build upon that and grow with it. All right. So what are my core values, and am I living in alignment with them? That's the fourth question. What are my core values, and am I living in alignment with them? And my fifth question is, what habits or behaviors do I need to change or improve? I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes we go on autopilot and we may not even know what we are doing. You just get in the car and you just drive. These are the things that we do. It's on autopilot sometimes of what we do. But if you ask someone who knows you real good and can be critical, ask them, what behaviors do you think I would need to change to improve my life? Just see what they come up with. And don't get upset. It's just constructive criticism. Well, that's food for thought today. My name is Dave. You're listening to the last podcast where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If you want to get in